Do you think this is the time where the party needs to harden its position on Europe, if you like, or are you happy with David Cameron's renegotiate and recommend yes position?
Well, I think the Prime Minister's position is absolutely right, and it's a very clear pledge that he will seek to renegotiate, and then whatever the outcomes of those renegotiations are, we'll put it to the country by the end of 2017. And I think that's something that very much unites the Conservative Party. So the majority may be relatively small, but I think this is an issue that we're going to see a great deal of unity on.
And as things stand, if there was no change, you're one person who would want to get out.
As things stand at the moment, I think the balance of advantage to this country is with leaving the European Union. But let's see how the Prime Minister gets on the renegotiations. He's been successful in terms of getting us out of the Euro bailout mechanism at the beginning of the last Parliament, introducing the referendum lock, despite being in coalition with the Liberal Democrats at the time. He's been underestimated at every step of the way, so let's see what he can achieve.
I mean, what needs to change in your view?
Well, I think free movement of people is an issue that not just this country, but many other countries in the EU we need to have a look at, and less political interference in domestic affairs. So let's see how he gets on with that. But either way, it'll be for you and I and the rest of the British public to make a judgment call on that when the referendum comes by the end of 2017. And my vote and your vote will be just the same as the Prime Minister's vote at the ballot box.
And what about the European Convention on Human Rights? Not directly related to the EU, but seems odd that Conservatives are so anxious to take away rights from the citizens.
Well, it's not about taking away rights, it's about rebalancing rights. And certainly many of the people I have spoken to on the doorstep of Crawley, my constituency, and I know across the country, are very concerned at the way the Human Rights Act has operated since it was introduced in the late 1990s. It's not about taking away rights, but replacing the Human Rights Act in the way that it doesn't function correctly, and introducing...
I mean, what's the problem with it?
And introducing a British Bill of Rights. Many people feel that it isn't very balanced in terms of things like the victim versus the perpetrator in certain criminal cases. Again, coming back to the case of immigration, there have been some problems with Article 8 being abused on the European Convention. So, these things need to be looked at.
It might mean that people in this country end up with fewer citizens' rights than those in Germany or France, for example.
Well, I think this country has a long and proud history of developing human rights and the rights of the citizen over the state over many centuries, particularly in this 800th year of the Magna Carta. That's been an evolution, and I think this country has a prouder history than, say, many other countries in Europe on the issue of human rights.
Mr Smith, if David Cameron offers you a job in his ministerial shuffle, what would you like it to be? What would be your dream job?
I will play my part in ensuring that this incoming Conservative government is able to deliver for the people of Great Britain, and I will play whatever part I'm asked to do in that.
How difficult do you think it is going to be managing a small majority?
Well, small majorities historically have been difficult. Much analogy has been made in terms of this election being similar to the '92 election, but I think it's different in the fact that we're not just at the tail end of many years of a Conservative government, and actually the party is united around these key issues.
Are you going to rebel?
Well, I can't see a cause for rebellion at the moment. I have rebelled in the past when I haven't agreed with the policy of the government, but I don't see any policies that I disagree with at the moment, whether it be English votes, EU referendum, a British Bill of Rights instead of the Human Rights Act, staying on course to recover the economy. All of these things I'm very much fully signed up to.
OK, thank you very much indeed
pleasure
for joining us.